Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and a couple months ago I did a video where I talked about a bunch of makeup products that felt like winter to me. And at the end of the video I said, let me know if you want me to do this for every season. And I had quite a few comments that asked me to do it for every season. So in today's video I'm going to be chatting about some products that feel like spring to me. Just spring vibes, major spring vibes. So if you guys want to hang out and hear about some products that feel like spring to me, then just keep on watching. Okay, so if you guys saw the thumbnail, I like to just pile makeup and take the thumbnails for videos like this. So it's just all sitting in a pile next to me, so I'm not going to go in any specific order. I'm just going to kind of grab and top to bottom, I guess, in whichever way is going to make sure that things don't just go flying. So let's just start out here. I'm actually going to start out with a lip product just because it looked like it was going to dangerously roll off the table. This is covered in cat hair. This is the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in the shade Bare Affair. Honestly, it's nothing to like write home about really, but at the same time, it's also beautiful. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous lip product. Shiny, not super high coverage, not like very middle of the road neutral in tone, but it's just kind of like that perfect, just easy to wear spring lipstick that's just like not too heavy, it's not too matte, it's not too shiny, it's just kind of like perfect all around, super comfy to wear. And it just feels like it's one of those products that I tend to reach for the most, especially in like the spring and the summer, because it's just so simple, right? It doesn't really matter what makeup I'm doing, I can almost always grab this and throw it on and it works. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlight in the shade Bloom Time. I mean, like, the name, just everything about it is so springy. It is this beautiful kind of pink undertone with a gold reflect, so it's very peachy, just soft, glowy highlight. And I feel like spring is the time to really glow, and peaches and pinks is so springy, and just overall definitely such a spring product. Like obviously the name, the print on it, but just even like the tone and the finish. This is actually a product that I'm wearing on my face today. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Blush in the shade Nectarine. So this is a peach blush. It's not too shiny, it's not too matte, it's very like middle of the road in the finish. And also, yes, it's peachy, but as you can see, it almost has like it's more pinky peach than it is orange peach, which I feel like again is very important for spring, especially if you're like I am today, have pink eyeshadow on, but you want that more like kind of peachy cheek vibe. This is perfect because it still plays well together. It's not like that clash of like cool toned eyes and warm toned cheek. It works together. It's a beautiful finish. You could totally wear it unset. You could set it down with a powder blush. You could set it down with a regular powder and just kind of soften it up a little bit more. It's very like such a good product overall, but like I feel like unless you're like me, I can't stand the like feeling of my face being sticky. I always have to set down my foundations and my cream products and everything like that. Like I cannot stand it, but I can, you know, kind of make it look like maybe my face isn't as set down as it is. But this is the type of product that you could easily not set and it would still look really good throughout the day. And that I feel like is very quintessentially spring, is like, you know, using cream bronzer and cream blush and like not setting it and stuff like that. And this is definitely up there as one of the best ones to do that with. This is another product that definitely feels like spring to me. Unfortunately, it is very much only for like my skin tone or lighter, but the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It blush in Pink Sands. Now granted, I can only wear this for about half the year, maybe even less than that. It's a very, very, very light blush, but I love pairing this. It almost blends in with my skin. I love pairing this with something like the Nectarine blush. I just put it over that blush. You can still barely see it, but it just I don't know why I'm swatching it. You guys can't see it, but putting it over a cream blush just kind of lightens it up a little bit, and just, I don't know, it's very springy to me. It's very springy. You have to be a very specific skin tone for this to work for, unfortunately. I mean, you could say that about a ton of different makeup products across the board, across ranges. Like, obviously, certain shades of products are only gonna work for certain skin tones. I don't know, it just, especially like, again, going back to that whole like wearing pinks on your lids, but maybe wanting to go a little bit more warmer on the cheeks and a little bit more peach on the cheeks, this works perfectly to kind of soften that and kind of neutralize it out a little bit, so you still have that peach glow, but it's not like so peach that it's clashing with the pink, you know? I feel like lip glosses are very much like a spring thing, and in particular for me would be the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips. I have two of them. I have the shade It Girl right here, which is definitely a lot more warm toned, and then I also have the shade Transformation, which, by the way, this does not look blue on the lips. It kind of looks more like goldy, like cooler toned goldy, but perfect formula, not super heavy, super shiny, but like comfortable, juicy looking without being like overwhelmingly too much, you know? But definitely glosses, especially something like the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips. This would not be a spring video without ColourPop Sweet Talk. This is the most perfect peach palette. This is like my ride or die in the spring. I love this palette so much. I actually need to start planning for my next monthly makeup basket, and I'm definitely gonna have this palette in my monthly makeup basket. This is, I need to start using this a ton. I love this palette so much. I've had this palette for years and years and years, and it's just like every time it starts to warm up just a little bit and just starts to, like, the flowers start to bloom, I immediately am like, sweet talk, sweet talk, sweet talk. Like, I have to use this palette constantly. I love peaches in the spring, and this is by far one of the best peach palettes I've ever come across. I love all types of blush toppers in the spring, but this one just screams spring to me. It is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Pretty Peach. It's not, again, it's still very neutral. It's not orange peach. It's very like light pink peach, and it's just, the glow on it is perfect. The tone of it is perfect. The formula is perfect. It's not too heavy. It doesn't like accentuate anything on the skin. It just adds that beautiful kind of just like sheen to the skin with just a little bit of a wash of color. All right, going back to cream products, this is another one that is so perfect to just like put on your skin and not necessarily have to set it. I, again, always set my face. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Sunkissed, which during the warmer months of the year, when I get a lot more sun, this is a lot closer to my skin tone than it is when I haven't gotten a ton of sun. But it's just the most beautiful, like, light bronzer that's not super crazy pigmented. It basically blends itself, and it's just like, it dries down to like almost a powder finish, so you could easily get away with not having to set this if you don't want to. But it's so creamy when you're applying it that, like I said, it basically blends itself. The tone of this is perfect, just perfect. Springtime, perfect. On the more pigmented vein of blush, I love the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush. This is the shade Just Natural, which is just the most perfect peach blush. Again, still very neutral peach. It's not, I'm not in my oranges yet. That's summer and fall. But again, it's just, I've talked about this blush so many times on my channel because it's so perfect. It's really thin. It's really light. It's got some kick to it. Don't get me wrong. It's got some kick to it, but it's not so overly pigmented that I can set down a cream blush with this and it's not overwhelming. And it just kind of has this like vague blurring quality to it that sometimes I also really like in the spring. I like to be a little bit blurred, a little bit, you know, just targeted glow. but the tone of this is perfect because, again, I feel like I like those peaches and pinks. How many times am I going to say this? I like the peaches and pinks, but I like my peaches in the spring to be a little bit more pink peach, not orange peach. Orange peach is later. We're talking August, September, October, you know? And the same would go for this bronzer. This is the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dolce, which is actually what I'm wearing on my face today. This is also a really, really thin bronzer. It doesn't pack on a bunch of like product. It's very thin, very easy to apply. It has a very sheer amount of glow to it. It's definitely on the warmer spectrum, especially the shade Dolce, but it's not so like overwhelmingly like red orange, you know? But again, it has that kind of like vague blurring quality to it, which is really nice, you know, to blur out some forehead wrinkles. But it's just the light amount of sheen that it has to it just plays so nicely in the spring. And again, it's very light, it's very thin, it's very soft, which is what I look for in the spring. I like softer makeup in the spring. This is actually the palette, not the shimmer, but this is the palette that I'm actually wearing on my eyes today, and that is the Juvia's Place Blushed Rose palette. So when I want more pinks, this is what I will reach for, something like this. This is perfect for like that kind of ballet core glam that's really in right now as well, but just like it's soft. There's a little, you know, you can add a little bit of depth in here. These shimmers are gorgeous as well, super easy to blend, but still very soft. One more lip product, and again, tonally, it's because it's a peach, but this is the Maybelline Vinyl Ink Lipstick in the shade Peachy, which if I want like a lot more pigment on my lips, this is what I'll go for. It still has a glow to it, it still has a sheen to it, but it's gonna be a lot more long lasting on my lips. But again, just a nice peachy lip. Peachy. One more highlight to talk about, and that is the Nabla Skin Glazing Highlight. This is in the shade Privilege. Honestly, all shades of this formula are divine. I have another one that actually is a lot more darker peach that I use as a blush topper, but this is the most stunning, just like peachy gold, soft glow, like almost just kind of blends into the skin. It just kind of like the undertone just blends into it, just kind of makes it look like a more natural glow, you could say. But it's just the most beautiful, shiny but not heavy, doesn't accentuate anything on the face, just beautiful glow. I'm also obsessed with the packaging. I've always been obsessed with this packaging, but 10 out of 10, very springy. Last but not least, I have two palettes that I'm going to talk about together, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palettes in volume 4 and volume 5. So one is more pinky and one is more purpley, if you couldn't guess. Almost could pull into like fall vibes as well, but like the lighter side of this is very springy to me, especially shades like this, these like lighter purples, some of these shades up here, very springy. I love purples in the spring as well. I think it's so pretty. And then also volume 4 is a lot lighter as well. This one's definitely even more springier than the other one, but like this shade, these shimmers, the pinks, the kind of like warm, lighter neutrals, very springy, very beautiful. Definitely love. I could have kept going, honestly. Basically every single glowy product that I have is very spring coated. Like there's so many products, and I didn't even talk about like foundations and base products and stuff like that, because there's definitely certain foundations that I feel like are a lot more springy than others, but I think I covered the bases there. So comment down below and tell me about a product that you think is very spring coated, like a makeup product that reminds you of spring. Definitely let me know down below. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.